The Oscars red carpet isn't just about fashion. It's about moments that live forever. And when couples step out together, those moments become even more powerful. Over the years, we've seen everything, from bold, rule-breaking looks that shocked the world to timeless outfits that still influence fashion today. These aren't just outfits. These are iconic fashion stories. So today we're counting down the top 15 best-dressed couples Oscar looks of all time. Sonny and Cher, 1973. This wasn't just an arrival, it was a total cultural reset. Back in 1973, Cher and her longtime collaborator Bob Mackie decided that traditional was boring. She stepped out in a gold midriff-bearing two-piece that felt like it was pulled from a futuristic goddess's wardrobe. The look was a symphony of beads, sequins, and hand-stitched tassels that shimmered like liquid gold with every step she took, at a time when the Academy was much more conservative, showing that much skin was a massive risk, but Cher's effortless goddess energy, complete with her signature waist-length hair, made it an instant classic. Beside her, Sonny played the perfect stylish foil, ditching the standard plain tux for a patterned velvet jacket that added just enough disco-era personality without competing with Cher's shine. Together, they bridged the gap between old Hollywood glamour and the rebellious spirit of the 70s. Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz, 2011. Now this is what real-life romance and red carpet perfection looks like. You know, there is a specific kind of magic that happens when two Oscar winners walk the carpet as a married couple. And in 2011, Javier and Penelope were the definition of star power. Penelope was a literal vision in a fiery red Loren Scott gown. The dress was entirely encrusted in sequins with subtle flame-like embroidery that caught the flashbulbs from every angle, creating a glowing aura around her. What's even more impressive is that she delivered this high-fashion moment just 1 month after giving birth, looking more radiant than ever in a plunging neckline and Chopra diamonds. Javier knew exactly how to play his part, opting for a razor-sharp midnight black Gucci tuxedo. By keeping his look classic and understated, he allowed Penelope's vibrant red gown to be the focal point. Their chemistry was palpable, making it feel less like a press event and more like a private romantic moment captured on a global stage. Jennifer Lopez and Marc Anthony, 2006. Proof that you don't need drama to steal the entire show. In 2006, Jennifer Lopez decided to pivot away from her usual high-glam, Jenny from the block aesthetic and lean into something much more historical and refined. She wore a rare vintage 1950s Jean d'Essai gown in a stunning shade of olive green silk chiffon. The craftsmanship was breathtaking, featuring moss-colored pleats and soft draping that hugged her figure with incredible precision. It wasn't about being loud. It was about the richness of the fabric and the timelessness of the silhouette. She accessorized with gold, Fred Leighton jewelry, and a soft, half-up hairstyle that felt like a nod to the starlets of the silver screen. Standing beside her, Marc Anthony was the epitome of the dapper gentleman in a perfectly tailored black tuxedo and a classic bow tie. Their look that night proved that you don't need neon colors or giant trains to dominate the conversation. Sometimes impeccable tailoring and vintage history are all you need to be unforgettable. Brad Pitt and Gwyneth Paltrow, 1996. Before trends, before TikTok, this couple defined cool. If you want to understand why 90s minimalism is currently back in style, look no further than this 1996 appearance by Brad Pitt and Gwyneth Paltrow. They were the it couple of the decade, and their fashion reflected that cool, detached confidence. Gwyneth wore a white Calvin Klein slip dress that was so simple it was radical. Covered in a very subtle shimmer, the dress relied on clean lines and thin straps to do the talking, embodying the less is more philosophy of the era. Her hair was pulled back in a sleek, fuss-free style that let her natural glow take the lead. Brad, meanwhile, gave the traditional tuxedo a shot of adrenaline by adding his signature round sunglasses, a move that felt both rebellious and incredibly stylish. He was nominated for 12 Monkeys that night, and the duo radiated an energy that said they were the coolest people in the room, and they didn't even have to try. Heath Ledger and Michelle Williams, 2006. This is widely considered one of the most beautiful red carpet moments in the history of the Academy Awards. Michelle Williams took a massive fashion risk with a bold canary yellow Vera Wang gown, a color that many stylists usually avoid for the red carpet. However, the contrast against her pale complexion and bold red lip was perfection. The dress featured delicate ruffles and a deep V neckline that moved beautifully, giving her a soft, romantic silhouette that felt like a breath of fresh air. Heath Ledger, who was nominated for his legendary performance in Brokeback Mountain, stayed classic in a black tux, playing the supportive partner while still looking incredibly sharp. There was an emotional weight to this appearance because the couple had met and fallen in love on the set of the very film he was being honored for. Beyonce and Jay-Z, 2005. And then came the moment a power couple officially took over Hollywood. When Beyonce made her Oscars debut in 2005, she didn't just arrive, she announced her presence as a permanent fixture in Hollywood. She wore a stunning black velvet Atelier Versace gown that featured a sweetheart neckline and a corseted waist, creating a silhouette that was both regal and incredibly powerful. The weight and texture of the velvet gave the look a sense of expensive, old-world luxury that most modern gowns can't replicate. She elevated the ensemble with massive Lorraine Schwartz diamond chandelier earrings that sparkled against the dark fabric like stars. Jay-Z was the perfect partner in crime, matching her energy in a sleek black tuxedo that featured a velvet bow tie, a subtle but brilliant nod to the fabric of Beyoncé's dress. They moved with a level of coordination and polish that signaled they weren't just a couple, they were a brand, and they were officially taking over. Leonardo DiCaprio and Gisele Bündchen, 2005. For one night only, the world's biggest movie star and the world's biggest supermodel gave us the ultimate Hollywood fairy tale. At the 2005 Oscars, Gisele looked like she stepped out of a dream in a custom white strapless Dior gown, designed by John Galliano. The dress featured intricate embroidery and a voluminous floating skirt that made her look like an angel gliding across the carpet. She kept her hair in loose, natural waves, letting the sheer elegance of the Dior craftsmanship take center stage. Leo, nominated that night for The Aviator, looked every bit the classic leading man in a sharp Prada tuxedo. There was a sense of balance to their look, her high-fashion ethereal energy perfectly countered by his grounded, traditional movie star appeal. Because this was their only joint appearance at the Oscars, it has gained a legendary status among fashion enthusiasts as one of the most iconic brief moments in red carpet history. Matthew McConaughey and Camila Alves, 2014. Winning an Oscar is big, but doing it in style, even bigger. The 2014 Oscars belonged to Matthew McConaughey, and his wardrobe, along with his wife's, matched that winning energy. Camila Alves stunned in a soft, blush pink gown by Gabrielle Cadena that featured a unique cape detail flowing from one shoulder. It was a look that felt modern and regal at the same time, with subtle beading that shimmered without being overwhelming. She paired it with rose gold diamonds that tied the whole soft pink palette together. Matthew, on the other hand, decided to break tradition by wearing a crisp white Dolce & Gabbana dinner jacket with black trousers. It was a bold move that set him apart from the literal hundreds of men in black suits that night. When he eventually took the stage to accept the Best Actor Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club, the contrast of the white jacket against the golden statue created one of the most iconic winning images of the modern era. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, 2012. This is the night the internet broke over a single pose. We can't talk about Oscar couples without mentioning the night Angelina Jolie broke the internet. In 2012, she wore a custom black velvet Atelier Versace gown that featured a structured bodice and a daring thigh-high slit. It was a look that combined dark romance with high-octane power. The moment she stepped out and confidently posed with her right leg forward, a meme was born. But the fashion itself was undeniably top tier. The rich velvet and her bold red lip created a femme fatale vibe that was impossible to look away from. Brad Pitt stayed in his lane as the ultimate supportive partner, looking incredibly handsome in a perfectly tailored Tom Ford tuxedo. He kept his hair long and slicked back, giving off a refined European vibe that complemented Angelina's dramatic aesthetic perfectly. They weren't just a couple that night, they were a global event. Emily Blunt and John Krasinski. 2024. This look was pure modern fairy tale meets high fashion drama. At the 2024 Oscars, Emily Blunt and John Krasinski showed up perfectly coordinated in dreamy winter white, and it instantly felt fresh and elevated. Emily wore a stunning Schiaparelli couture gown covered in soft ivory sequins. But the real show stealer was those iconic floating shoulder straps. They literally looked like they were defying gravity. The silhouette had this subtle armor-like structure, making her look both elegant and powerful at the same time. She paired it with dazzling Tiffany and covered diamonds and silver platforms, keeping everything sleek but still luxurious. Her soft, glam makeup balanced the bold design beautifully. Standing next to her, John matched her vibe in a crisp ivory tuxedo, complete with a white bow tie and a standout Tiffany brooch that added just the right amount of personality. It felt intentional, polished, and super in sync. And with Emily nominated for Oppenheimer, the whole moment had that extra layer of importance, making them one of the most stylish couples of the night. Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel, 2017. The 2017 Oscars were the night Jessica Biel became the human embodiment of an Academy Award. She wore a fully embellished metallic gold Kaufman Franco gown that was so shiny it looked like it was made of liquid metal. The architectural fan-like neckline gave the dress a sculptural quality that felt very high art, and she leaned into the drama with a massive fringed diamond necklace from Tiffany & Co. It was a high-glamour, high-risk look that paid off completely. Justin Timberlake played the classic dapper lead in a sharp Tom Ford tuxedo, looking effortlessly cool as he danced his way down the carpet. Because Justin was performing and nominated for Can't Stop the Feeling. That night, their energy was electric. They looked like they were there to have a good time, and their coordinated, high-shine aesthetic made them the undisputed life of the party. Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade, 2024. This was high fashion with a twist, and honestly, one of the most unique couple looks of the night. At the 2024 Oscars, Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade didn't just coordinate, they elevated each other's style perfectly. Gabrielle wore a shimmering silver Carolina Herrera look that wasn't your typical gown. It was a strapless peplum mini dress layered over a sleek floor-length skirt, creating this bold, sculptural silhouette that felt fresh and dramatic. The sparkle alone was stunning, but that massive Tiffany & Co. aquamarine necklace? Total showstopper energy. Her snatched bun and soft glam makeup kept everything clean and polished, letting the outfit shine. Right beside her, Dwayne stepped out in a custom white Versace tuxedo with black trim, giving that crisp, modern contrast that matched her silver tones perfectly. The double-breasted fit and subtle diamond brooch added just enough detail without overdoing it. Together, they looked bold, stylish, and completely unforgettable, like a fashion power duo done right. Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet, 2026. This wasn't just a red carpet walk, it was a high-stakes fashion narrative that felt more like a Vogue editorial come to life. At the 2026 Oscars, Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet decided that one look simply wasn't enough to capture their it couple energy, so they gave us a 2-act transformation. Kylie opened the night in a custom blood-red sequined Schiaparelli gown that featured a dramatic architectural keyhole cutout. The dress was dripping in over-the-top Lorraine Schwartz diamonds that screamed main character energy from a mile away. Beside her, Timothée leaned into his signature cool kid aesthetic, breaking all the traditional black tie rules in an all-white Givenchy suit paired with sleek boots and dark sunglasses. It was a bold, rebellious contrast that felt incredibly fresh. But the real magic happened at the after-party, where they executed a perfectly coordinated outfit change that shifted the mood from avant-garde to dark romance. Kylie slipped into a black corseted Alexander McQueen gown with a plunging halter neckline and a dramatic feathered train that gave off pure Hollywood bombshell vibes. Timothee matched her intensity in a white chrome hearts leather suit, maintaining that sharp black and white contrast that made their partnership feel intentional and high concept. Elizabeth Taylor and Mike Todd, 1957. And finally, the couple that defined what Hollywood royalty truly looks like. This was the night Elizabeth Taylor and her husband, Mike Todd, didn't just attend an awards show. They looked like they were stepping into the pages of history. Elizabeth was a vision of 1950s elegance in a pale pink chiffon gown, designed by the legendary Helen Rose. The dress featured a soft empire waist and delicate draping that made her look almost ethereal under the harsh glow of the flashbulbs. But the piece that turned this into a legendary fashion moment was the Victorian diamond tiara she wore. Mike Todd had gifted it to her because, in his words, she was his queen, and Elizabeth wore it with a level of grace that felt both regal and incredibly sincere. The glamour didn't stop at the tiara. She layered on sparkling chandelier earrings, a matching diamond brooch, and a luxurious white fur wrap that epitomized the opulence of the era. Mike Todd was the ultimate dapper counterpart in a traditional black tuxedo, looking every bit the successful producer, a role he cemented that night when he took home the Best Picture Oscar for Around the World in 80 Days. Seeing them together, draped in diamonds, and celebrating a career-defining win remains one of the most romantic and visually stunning images in the history of the Academy Awards. So those were the top 15 best-dressed couples Oscar looks of all time. But now I want to know your opinion. Which couple truly stole the show for you? And is there any iconic duo you think deserve to be on this list? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more celebrity fashion content just like this.